Hello. On this week's Man vs. Reality, we had a look at the British Monarchy. Basically, we looked into everything they do, what power they have to do whatever it is they do, and we tried to answer the question, is it worth still having a UK monarchy in 2022? The conclusion that I came up with is yes, it is, for a number of reasons. The actual property and the estates and everything that's owned by the Crown, not by one individual royal, they bring in just under £2 billion per year, and that money, out of that money, it's taking the funding to fund the royal family and all the activities that they do. They only get a small percentage of that and bring in about 4 times more that goes into the public pot that is supposed to go and help us, the general public of the United Kingdom. The reason that I think that the royal should still exist, because obviously all that property would still exist if they didn't, is that that property will probably pass obviously into the hands of the UK government. The UK government will probably then privatise it, and we would lose $2 billion a year into the public pot almost. On top of that, there is a hell of a lot of things wrong with the royal family and associated with the royal family, and for me, the reasons that I gave for them still to continue is it's not going to get sorted out unless the royal family exist. So they shouldn't be protecting sex offenders, definitely something that needs sorting out. If the royal family just disappear, then all of that kind of disappears as well. On top of that, there is all the colonialism and all the sins of the past that the royal family have committed, because if you're going to have an inherited title, you can't just inherit all the really, really good stuff. You've also got to inherit the bad stuff that is associated with your family, and your responsibility is to now try and make that better in some way. And in order to do that, they need to exist. They need to have the power to be able to do that. Lastly, they don't really have any power to affect what's going on in this country. I mean, they are the head of the armed forces, and they do have the power to declare war and to declare peace and to sign different treaties with different companies, but different countries, sorry. But they are that beholden to the government who is in charge, who actually control their funding, that they would never do so without the support of the government, because the government would just cut their funding and punish them in whatever way they saw fit. So the only power they have is given to them by the elected officials of this country. They have the power to advise, but they don't have to be listened to. So there you go. They can't really affect anything. They bring in 4 times more money than they actually spend. And hopefully now, coming into modern society, having a modern monarch, they will start to sort out all the sins of the past. They need to be in a position to be able to do that. They're my excuses for still keeping a royal family in the UK. If you want to see how I came to all those conclusions, check out the full show on Man vs. Reality's YouTube page, or you can check out our podcast if you don't want to watch my beautiful face and what I went through to get to those conclusions. You could just listen to my beautiful voice on a podcast on iTunes or on Spotify. Thanks very much. Hopefully I'll see you again soon.